Get back to economy, sir. This seat isn't for your kind. That's what the flight attendant, Camila Torres, said loud, cold, no hesitation, like it was just a fact of life, not even worth her raising an eyebrow over. I'm sitting there thinking, damn, it's not even 10:05 in the morning, and someone's already showing their whole heart to a cabin full of strangers. She's staring down this black guy beard, white tee jeans, carrying himself so quiet you could miss him if you blinked, and he doesn't say a word. Not yet anyway. But you can feel in the air. Everybody's watching. Everybody's wondering, what's he going to do? What's anybody going to do? The wildest part? In less than 15 minutes, Camila and half the crew would be jobless. I know, right? If I hadn't lived through it myself, I'd think I was making it up just to get a few likes on Reddit. But let me back up a sec, because before we get to fireworks, you should know who that guy was. John Marshall, billionaire, founder, CEO, whatever you call it, of Skypulse Airlines. Except today, no entourage, no fancy speech, just a regular dude boarding his own plane. No one knew. No one cared. But Icaretta was there to see if all those stories online about how folks get treated if they don't look rich enough in first class were actually true. Spoiler, they were. Behind him was his assistant, Layla, Carter Sharp's suit, sharp eyes, phone in her pocket, rolling silent video. They boarded before most of us, but Olivia Wentworth was already there, draped in designer everything, money fanned in her passport like she was picking her lunch from menu. She clocked John's outfit, didn't even blink, just decided seat 1A was hers. That's my seat, she lied, voice sugary sweet for Camila. He can take economy. No questions asked. Camila took one look at the envelope of cash, gave Olivia a little smile, and told John again, sir, get to the back. This seat is reserved for someone who fits our image. John, patient as sunrise, just lifts his boarding pass platinum one eye. Can't miss it. Camila's backup, Aiden Brooks, barely looks up from his tablet. Sorry, payment issue, glitch in the system, card declined, take it up with customer service. That's when you feel the room change like a storm building. There's a journalist, Grace Kim in 2C, quietly turning on her camera. Michael Grayson in 3BS, sitting forward, jaw tight, just watching. John doesn't yell, doesn't plead, just tells Camila, you're going to regret this moment. And his assistant Lilash got her phone recording, just in case. Olivia's making snide comments about lawsuits, and Camila's hurrying everyone else along, like John's the one holding up the show. You know what I mean? The kind of energy where you can feel everyone itching to see how far this is going to go. It gets worse. Aiden, the other attendant, actually says out loud, you don't look like first class. Olivia piles on, you sure don't dress like it. The stuff people say when they think the room's with them. John just looks at Olivia and asks, is first class sold by fabric or character? She laughs in his face. It's sold to people who belong. Clearly you don't. I swear you could hear Grace's camera zoom in. Can you repeat that? She asks. The audience would love to hear it again. Camila doubles down. If you don't move, I'll get the captain. And right on cue, Captain Jacob Hayes' voice comes over the intercom. Says if there's a problem in 1A, crew is authorized to reseat as needed. Olivia fans herself with her boarding stub, smiling. Camila grabs John's boarding pass, crumples it in her hand. You'll thank us when you're back where you belong. John looks her in the eye, voice steady, not angry, just disappointed. I built this airline, so people like you couldn't do this. Guess I missed a spot. By now, Grace is up, filming everything. Michael stands, saw John board first, saw the seat number, saw everything. The lies are unraveling, and the truth is starting to stink. Then John whispers to Camila, 15 minutes from now, your badge won't work. She just glares at him, calls security, tries to have him removed. Olivia waves another $100 bill. Aiden stutters, Grace keeps filming, and Michael's had enough calling out the bribery for everyone to hear. And here comes the twist. Grace asks, right to Aiden's face, how much did she give you? Aiden chokes 5,000, he mumbles. The air leaves the room. Olivia snaps, Camila hisses, and Layla logs everything, every word, every dollar. The crew can't keep the story straight anymore. John stands his ground, not yelling, not pleading, just calm. You sold a seat that wasn't yours, misuse your authority, let a bribe make the rules. The silence after that is thick. Suddenly, the system updates. Layla shows the manifest John Marshall. 1A, confirmed. No more games. John says, "You wanted to remove me from a seat I paid for on Airline I built because I didn't look expensive enough, and you did it in front of everyone on camera." Olivia tries to talk, but she's out of words. Camille is shaking. Aiden's silent, and the cabin is just watching, waiting for what comes next. Camila demands John's ID, still trying to claw back control. "If you belong here, prove it." John just sits calm, asks, "Did you ask Olivia for hers?" The answer is obvious, of course not. The captain gets back on the intercom, says he'll have John removed if he doesn't comply. John leans back, looks at the cockpit. "Captain Hayes," he says, calm as ever. "Now, the passengers are catching on. This isn't just a misunderstanding. This is a show, and everyone's got front row seats." Olivia starts ranting. "You're holding the plane hostage because you want attention." Michael stands up. "It concerns every black man who's been told he doesn't look the part." Camila tries to claim she's just following protocol. John says, "No, you're enforcing bias, and it's showing." And just then, the HQ override comes through. Aiden, finally out of denials, admits he was told to block John's boarding by Camila, that Olivia would fix it after takeoff. The truth is boiling over now. Then, another bombshell. Camila admits they have a verbal protocol, an unwritten rule. If a high-value white client tipped and the other passenger didn't fit, bump the one who didn't look the part. Not just today. Not just John. Over and over. Grace's phone is catching every word, every confession, every shameful little policy. The whole plane's watching now. Some people are angry. Some are just stunned. That's when John stands, pulls off his beard, literally peels it off, and everyone gasps. It's him, the CEO, the founder, the man whose name is on every seat, every jet, every decision. Camila's face drains. Aiden's mouth drops open. Olivia turns ghost white. "You never even asked who I was," John says. "You just assumed." He fires them all on the spot. Camila, Aiden, Captain Hayes, the junior attendant who helped with the override. No yelling, just finality. Olivia tries to protest. "It was a donation," but John isn't having it. "No, it was a bribe, and you're banned from Skypulse." Effective immediately. Security escorts her out, and for a second, the plane is dead quiet. Then the captain, his voice weak, tries to admit he deleted complaints to protect the brand, covered up all the bias reports, buried them in HR's shadow archive. John fires him, too. This plane won't move until a new crew is in place. And something wild happens. A retired head of in-flight ops, Donald Ray, stands up from row 4D, apologizes to John and the cabin for knowing about these practices and never speaking up. "I was complicit by silence," he says. John thanks him, offers him a role in retraining the new crew. Real change, not just talk. By now, passengers are clapping, a few are crying, and John sits back in one, finally breathing easy. Layla announces that the Pulse Equity Initiative goes live. Company-wide reform, equity-based training, every complaint reviewed, every crew member retrained. Appearance, income, race, none of that will decide who belongs in first class again, John promises. As the new crew comes in, the mood shifts. People are sharing stories about being profiled, ignored, dismissed. Grace gets a lifetime pass for her reporting. Michael gets upgraded for speaking out. And then Camila, pale but still defiant, confesses that the priority quiet board, an off-the-books chat, ran even deeper. Tips, bribes, adjusted elegance. It was never just her. It was a system. John faces the cabin. This ends now. Not quietly, not politely, but openly and completely. As the plane finally takes off, his words echo in the air. Equity doesn't fly standby. It deserves a seat every time. If you made it this far, if you felt even a flicker of anger or hope or recognition, share this story. Tell us where you're watching from, and drop a comment. When is it ever okay for money and bias to overrule justice? Because accountability? It doesn't need permission. It needs witnesses.